Oh man, it is July 10th. July 10th. I'm actually recording for yesterday's video right now because I didn't record last night. I'm still continuing this cycle of being complete trash, not uploading like I should be, not recording like I should be. I did not work out again last night. It was just a busy day. Before I even left work, I had gotten 10,000 steps in. I'm traveling between 4 locations now with the launch of this project. I was just busy. I was busy. I was exhausted too. So I got AJ up, picked him up a little later than I would like. You gotta get him from daycare around 6 or before 6. So just getting there, picked him up, went back to the house, fed him. And him and I both laid down and passed out. Before I know it was 9 o'clock. He still had to eat. I had to eat. Shauna actually ended up going to work out, which is great. But me, just couldn't do it. I was exhausted. I realized I need new shoes because these shoes are they're about 2 years old now, and I need to get new shoes. So that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to search for a store that sells dress shoes in my size. I need a wider shoe. I'm very particular about the dress shoes that I wear because I don't want to buy dress shoes that are too tight for my wide foot, and then I'm like flat-footed on top of that. So I need enough support, and most of the time I rip out the soles and put in my own soles for that arch support. But these shoes are old, and the arch support system, instead of just recycling or instead of just buying new inserts, I should just get new shoes. I don't have any water in here. But other than that, I'm feeling all right, man. I'm confident about the project launching on Monday. I am confident. I'm really confident about it. I'm really, really happy that this is going to take fruition. Going to be spending a lot of time between that location and one of the hospitals, just to make sure that there's enough support until we get the right people in place. We have a lot of the senior staff, but we don't have the support staff yet. So I'm still waiting on that to happen. But yeah, I don't have any complaints. I'm like rushing to my meeting I got this morning, but I got time. I got another 25 minutes before I get there, which is cool. But I'm all right. I'm feeling all right. I'm in a good mental space as well. No complaints there. Had the heart with Shauna the other day. I think her and I are probably going to take it over to discuss it with a therapist. Just talking about our family dynamic and our family, as in how I deal with my family, how she deals with her family. They are 2 different walks of life. Her and I just have a different understanding and a different perception of how we handle things. Shauna is more boisterous as far as what she sees. And for me, I see things, but they don't necessarily affect me, so I don't deal with it. I don't care for it per se. But she feels that as long as we are intertwined, regardless of the situation, our families will inevitably affect each other. So I don't know. Just hearing her out got me thinking about some things, and then we also have just different perceptions of what our overall goal is. I'm not looking to change certain interactions with people because I just don't see it worth it. People are going to be people. They're going to do things that are in the best interest of themselves, and I have come to accept that. And my way of accepting it is just letting people do them, and me staying away from it and out of it. I think the biggest I personally believe that yourself is your biggest detriment to everything you got going on for you. You are the reason why things happen. You are the reason why things don't happen. When people fail, it's not because of someone else. It's because of your own doing. And that's my personal belief in things. So, when things happen to people in my family, or when things happen around me, and the first thing I hear is, oh, well, it's this fault, it's this, that, it's that, it's the next thing, it's everything else except for any kind of self accountability. It turns me off. It's a big, I don't subscribe to it, because I do believe that you reap what you sow, and when you do not put in the I don't want to say effort, but when you don't put in enough to secure your own future, you have to accept that reward, that consequence, that problem. Like you have to accept that, no matter what good, what bad, you got to accept that. And there are things that happen that that I think back to that happened years ago, that are just coming to fruition now, and part of me is like, well, why didn't you see it coming? I saw it coming for you. Why didn't you? It's a very weird disillusion that people have. So I just handle things differently. I'm not inclined to react per se, because I feel like these are things that you should expect in a way. Nor can I be the same person to try to pick up the pieces. People are jigsaws within themselves, and then you want me to then fix your puzzle too, and I can't. It's not for me. But her and I, we didn't argue about it, but we got into a deep discussion about it. It went on for a couple of hours. We were just talking about different scenarios, and I finally was able to explain my thought process to her, and why I feel the way I feel. She doesn't agree with it, but I think for the most part she understands where I was coming from it, and where I stand on the matter. I don't hate people. I don't dislike people. I don't have a hateful bone in my body except for cabbage, but I'm kidding. But I don't hate people. I don't hate things. I don't hate things. I don't hate people. But I do know when to stay away from people that aren't trying to do no harm to me. When people do what people do, and they're, what's best for them directly affects me in a negative aspect or in a negative way, I'm, like I said, I'm less inclined to then put myself in a vicinity to be hurt, whether it's emotionally or physically or whatever the case may be. Most of the time, it's an emotional aspect. I feel like, my family should know better. But for the most part, like I said, people are going to do what's best for them. And what's best for them isn't always in your best interest, or isn't always in my best interest, in this case. So I do stay away. I do not put myself out there to then be hurt by certain things, or surprised by certain things either. I've come to accept people for who they are, for what they've done, and yeah, people do change and people do grow, but I'm not gonna, just because you change and you grow, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I am now vulnerable to again, you benefiting yourself, but at my detriment. I'm just not gonna do that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense in my book. I just can't do that. It makes no sense. So, but that's just an insight in how I handle it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's wrong either. But it's the way that I handle things. And again, I don't. Shauna really brought it to my attention that me maneuvering myself the way that I do, it brings off the the perception that I don't care. I do care. I do care. I do feel. I don't hate anybody, but I know my limits, and I know what I'm willing to subdue myself to, and I know what I'm willing not to subdue myself to. And in a lot of cases, I do not want to be in a situation where I am the only one feeling a certain type of way, or that I'm the only one in a situation that then ends up, lost and confused over a situation that initially didn't have anything to do with me. So it's just one of those things. I'm not putting myself out there, but that doesn't necessarily mean I don't care, or I don't, I feel less about people or anything. It's just the opposite. It's because I care that I'm not gonna let you do what you want to do at my detriment. It's because I care, and I guess I know that that's a weird and selfish way of putting it, but it's because I care that I don't want to put myself in a situation to be hurt by you, because then I know that if I get hurt enough, then I'm going to be less inclined to care about you. So it's one of those things. It's like I do it for the benefit. I maneuver the way that I do because it's for the benefit of the relationship that you and I have. Not because I dislike you, not because I don't appreciate you and things like that. It's not the case. It's just the opposite. It's because I care. It's the reason why I stay away. It's the reason why that the last conversation, I go based off of our last conversations, our last interactions, and if it's all love, then it's all love. But don't expect me to be all up in your sauce. I'm not. I'm gonna stick to my own pot and do what I gotta do to make sure that my pot grows and flourishes. But I'm not gonna insert myself into what you got going on, and then I'm the one that's hurt or surprised or left feeling a certain type of way. I'm just not gonna do that. So I just feel like our last interactions as a person, as people, though, that's what I like to base our relationship and all my relationships off of. If it's all good, I don't care how many years go by. Our last I'm going to base off our last interactions, and if our last interactions were great and nothing but love, then that's how I'm always going to feel about our relationship. That it's great and it's nothing but love. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to say anything different about it. So I mean that's just me. That's just how I operate. I'm not going to sit there and speak on how. I'm not going to say that people should accept the way that I operate. And I understand that some people require a lot more in order to ensure that the relationship is there and meaningful and fruitful and things like that. And I get that. So I guess it really comes down to, do you know that you are, do you feel that you and I are, distant? If you feel that our relationship isn't meaningful in a certain type of way, then I think, that you should reach out and talk to me. It shouldn't be a matter of a conversation, because I'm willing to have that conversation too. It's a difficult conversation, but I'm willing to have that conversation. Like I said, it doesn't change how I feel about you. It doesn't change, whether or not I care about you or anything like that, but it is what it is. And I'm willing to discuss my reasons on why I feel the way that I do, and how I, how I operate. And I get it. People change, people grow over the years. But again, you changing, you growing is for your benefit, not for the benefit of our relationship. And just because you grow doesn't necessarily mean that I have to then subject myself to put myself in a vulnerable position. Our friendship, our relationship isn't built on a state of vulnerability. It's built on a state of respect and a state of love and a state of safety, essentially. It's built on safety. And I can't feel safe. If I don't feel safe, or you don't feel safe, then it's up to us to then speak about it and say, hey, this is what I'm uncomfortable with. Let's talk about it. Let's work on a solution for it. That's all. That's all. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to back up here without slamming my truck against the wall. But that's it. We've got 10 more minutes before I gotta get to this meeting, so let me go ahead and end this video, and I will record later on today to just talk about today. Trying to catch up on everything that I missed. So there's that.